Hi Capricorn, and welcome to your energy forecast for the week beginning May the 8th, Monday May the 8th. Looking at the possible energies surrounding Capricorn for this coming week. The Eight of Wands, High Priestess, King of Pentacles, Tower, the Emperor, Seven of Wands, Queen of Cups, Three of Swords, and the Six of Pentacles. So we start the first energy with the Eight of Wands. Now the Eight of Wands is often referred to as the arrows of love. It talks about a lot of movement, activity. It can talk about travel, but it can talk about communication. A lot of activity that gets us emotionally and passionately fired up. A sense that we're being led by our intuition in this card. That things are fated and we're being led in a certain way or through certain activities around us at this time. Eights do talk of change, so a lot of change, a lot of things happening, a lot of activity promised or communication. And that's next to the High Priestess and the Moon. The High Priestess talks to the Moon. Now the Moon in a weekly reading would talk to the day of Monday. But she talks about our intuition, being in touch with our intuition. The Eight of Wands say we're being guided by our intuition with these two dolphins. So she's very much about using our intuition in a situation. We could be carrying a secret at this time. There could be secret conversations with someone who stirs our intimate desires. There can be secrets, there can be the feeling that we're not being told everything regarding the situation, and we do have to take time to sit quietly and listen to what our intuition says about the subject. Now there could be a big flurry of activity come towards us and our intuition says slow down, don't get knocked off balance with it. Yeah, feel the emotions that are involved with it and what excitement and passions it's stirring up in us, but listen to our intuition and what our inner guidance has to say about it. And it could be regarding earth element that's around us at the minute. It could be regarding a Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo. In this deck I actually see this more as the Capricorn. So we could be talking about ourselves. We could be looking at it from a real practical, down to earth mindset. We could be looking at it from being the leader, taking lead in a situation, or regarding a commitment of some kind that we made. we're talking to the a long-term situation here. It could be regarding our ambitions or the trustworthiness of somebody. This guy is loyal. He stands the test of time. He can be his own business. He can have his own business, be a business owner. He does have an hands-on attitude. And he can represent being generous and loving. It does talk about what we gain, we're willing to share. But it could be round another character who's come into our lives that make us look at ourselves from this perspective. The next card we have in the lineup is the Tower. Now the Tower is card 16 of the Major Arcana, and the Tower actually refers to the labyrinth that was built to house the Minotaur and how it came crumbling down. But it talks about a mindset, I feel, more than anything else. The unwillingness to see that something isn't based on a firm foundation, and no matter how much time and energy we give to it, it's just not going to advance any. It talks about having that breakthrough in thought, realization of the ending of a situation, feeling in the moment of chaos before that breakthrough comes, seeing the need to surrender to a situation instead of fighting it, having a breakthrough, gaining enlightenment on a situation. And it is all about surrendering, not fighting energies that are around us. It's about giving up control and looking at a new way of building whatever it is we're working towards on a better foundation. Now the Tower talks to Mars, and Mars is in Gemini at the minute. And Gemini is all about communication, travel, transportation. So maybe it is about having to communicate or accept communications regarding endings. Mars talks to Mars is the ruler of Aries, and we have Aries, the Emperor, right at the side of him here in these cards. So he does talk to the Emperor. The Emperor talks about having to need to take control, being in control of our lives, knowing we have the power in the bolts of lightning, the wisdom to make the best use of the world that is offered to us as we can. But Aries is very much about us and how we project ourselves in our lives, how we are presently. how we're relating to others. But it's about taking control and being assertive and, in a sense, of being forceful. But it's sat alongside Mars in the tower, which talks to the Aries side of aggression, drive, masculine power, our instincts. And then duplicated again in the Emperor. Now the King of Pentacles, that is us in our natural environment. Which is more about the practical rather than the thinking or the saying. So what have we got to communicate now? Is that where we're not taking charge? And ending up in conflicts, because the next card that we have on that line, we have the major tower, the major arcana tower, major arcana the Emperor, which is all about taking control, communicating at our control, having the breakthrough that it's now time to be a leader and go off in a certain direction. And we come up against conflict and competition. Now we could have two conflicting energies within us regarding the situation. The next card we have on the run is the Queen of Cups. Now the Queen of Cups talks to our emotions. She can talk to a water sign, Pisces, Scorpio or Cancer, and in this deck I depict her as the Scorpio. It's a woman who's heart-centered, capable of unconditional love. It's about being in touch with our nurturing side, our sensitivity, our compassion, having a gentle approach towards friends and family, a more caring, openly loving and caring nature. But she does come up with a view that it's now time to focus on relationships. Emotional intelligence is the best guide at this time. But it's about being generous, providing protection and care, but showing emotion and sympathy. She offers loyalty, inspiration and creativity. An openness of loving towards all. If we are single, she does appear to say we are emotionally ready for a new relationship. We're feeling these emotions, but we're not letting them overrule us. We're not letting them overwhelm us. Now the Queen of Cups could talk to the time period of Scorpio, which is October the 24th to November the 29th. So there could have been something last year that stirred up this situation in us and brought us to being ready for an emotional attachment again at this time. the King of Pentacles can talk to the sign of Capricorn, which they're dating, we're talking the 22nd of December through to the 14th of February. So we're either talking about plans we've set or events that happened back in that time frame last year, or we're making the plans for things in them time frames this year. And we do have Mars in Aries at the minute. Mars in Gemini at the minute. The house of communication and travel. Maybe the Tower is the feeling we need to get moving. We know we can no longer sustain this. We need to take charge and get out of this conflicted energy. Be at peace emotionally. And it's next to the Three of Swords. Now the Three of Swords is the card of hurt, loss, betrayal. It usually does refer to a three-way scenario, a love triangle. But it could be being stabbed in the back at work, if we are talking at work. It could be a despondency and disappointment in ourselves over choices in the past have always led us to heartache. You know, that could still be running away with our ambitions, has led us to heartache in the past, not listening to our intuition. But it's about acknowledging the pain of the past, the situation where we've been, and working through that energy, which we always do. Now the Queen of Cups would say, we've worked through this. Ideally, they'd more come that sort of way. But it's having an acknowledgement of the pain that we've been through, the heartache. I mean, we have the King of Pentacles here, an earth sign. We have the Emperor, a fire sign. And the Queen of Cups, a water sign. There could very well be a three-way scenario here. Maybe we find out about a fire sign and a connection with a water sign, and that causes hurt. Maybe as the King of Pentacles, we were in an Aries energy and fueled by our passions, desires to take control in a situation regarding our emotional stability, or a water sign person, a connection with a person. They all lead us to the Six of Pentacles as the final card. Now the Six of Pentacles talks about gifts, charities and awards. It talks about being in a good, emotional, balanced, harmonious position in life, that if we're asked to give aid to somebody and we can afford to do it, we should do it. Someone may be offering us a helping hand in a situation. We could be offered an emotional attachment, but it's been in a place of understanding that everything is give and take, and it doesn't matter if you give to him to help him out. If he doesn't come back to help you out, if he helps somebody else out and they help somebody else out, that somebody else somehow comes around to helping you. And the chain of kindness continues. It can talk about doing charity work, volunteering our time and our energy to help someone else out. The Queen of Cups is quite expressive about emotions, so maybe expressing past hurts and pains brings us to a place of an equal exchange of energy with others. With the Tower, the Mars card, we could be looking at a lack of a feeling of isolation here, a feeling of no communication, banging a head against a brick wall. See, the Tower is number 16, which breaks down to a number 7, and the 7s talk about being the seeker of truth, taking nothing at face value. But it does talk of spiritual awareness as well. So maybe from the message of the High Priestess and what we pull in from our intuition gives us that moment of clarity regarding how we're driving through with our ambitions. Maybe running into conflicts and obstructions along the way because we're being very forceful in our approach. Instead of being practical, grounded and nurturing towards it. The flurry of activity as the Emperor we can handle. And have a good exchange in all areas. And I think if we don't listen to our intuition and what the High Priestess has to say about a certain situation, we can barge through taking control of our life and end up in a situation of someone being hurt. Probably through not having all the facts, realising some things we're not aware of, or getting to the bottom of them and understanding them before moving forward. The activity around us, maybe there's some exciting proposition in front of us at the minute, and the realisation comes in the Tower that emotions are involved and people could get hurt in this situation. being practical and methodical and consistent and trustworthy in our approach forward. Yeah, we may face conflicts, but we can work through them, because we end up with the Six of Pentacles and the nice balanced energy. Now, on a day-to-day, the Tower can refer to the day of Tuesday. The High Priestess talks to a Monday. So Tuesday, maybe you have got to take control of some conflicts that are around you. Now the moon actually does rule Cancer, so there could be a Cancerian about at the minute. Even though the Queen of Cups comes up as a Scorpio on this card. We've got Scorpio and Cancer here. We do have air signs. We're not going to dismiss. There could be an Aries, Sagittarius or Libra around us at the minute. But it's more than likely an Aries. The Tower talks to the planet of Mars, and Mars rules Aries. Being our natural element, listening to our higher intuition, trusting our instincts, regarding a lot of activity, or flurry of activity, a lot of responsibilities or passionate outlets that are surrounding us at the minute. We may be called in to see the truth, to see and communicate the breakdown of a situation, to be the Emperor, take control and sort this situation out to reduce the conflict. And it could be between a Queen of Cups and a King of Pentacles. It could be between another Capricorn, Taurian, Virgo and a Pisces, Scorpio or Cancer. More than likely regarding some kind of past hurt or betrayal. But coming to a place of an equal understanding on both sides. Right then, Capricorn. That said, thank you very much for coming to see me again this week. I hope these readings do help, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.